Jerusalem! We're standing now on top of the Mount of Olives.
This area right here is a very crowded mall.
This is where Jesus was crucified.
Can't wait to walk around the city today. It's gonna be awesome. Already kind of getting like a little bit of a glimpse of it over here. There's the Dome of the Rock right there. We're gonna go walk all through Jerusalem today.
When we're talking about Jerusalem, we're standing now on top of the Mount of Olives. Okay, this is up here, all this ridge is part of the Mount of Olives. The old city, including all what you see around you here to the east, this is why we call it the east side of Israel or the West Bank, was under a Jordanian control from 1948 until 1967. After 2,000 years, that once again the old city of Jerusalem is under the Jewish control.
Pretty cool to walk, maybe not the path, but a path that Jesus would have walked down a lot, like going up the hill to the, like up there's the Mount of Olives, and over here is Jerusalem. So Jesus would have walked up and down this. In fact, when he came in through the riding on a donkey, it would have been like right up there, and then overlooked the city.
In a moment, we're going to enter into that church called the Dome of Bethesda that takes us back to the time of Jesus, to the 1st century period. And when people come to visit the cemetery, then normally they leave a stone. Okay, I was here kind of to show that someone was here.
Our tour guide is talking through a lot of different cool stories and meanings and significances around here that we're seeing. Guys, I just gotta say, like, being here in this place is like really cool. Not only does it give meaning, but I think it like actually is like deepening my belief and like these things are true. I believe these things here, but now like totally believe. All right, they're leaving me. I gotta get going.
This is an interesting thing that when Jesus is entering Jerusalem, first of all, he sends his disciples to go and bring him this colt, okay, this donkey that he's supposed to ride. So basically, he starts to ride from the back side of the Mount of Olives. He starts to climb up. Think about the entire scenario, okay? Jesus is riding on the donkey. He has his disciples walking beside him, and suddenly people start to get excited and shout, "Hosanna, Hosanna, save us, Son of David," and so on. And they see him riding on that donkey that they know it is connected completely to the character of the Messiah, and people start to be excited and shout, and they shout and they take, you know, their clothes and they put it on the ground, and they take those palm branches, which is a symbol for royalty, for kings, and thousands of people probably are all excited about that. This is it. The day has come that our Messiah is entering Jerusalem on that donkey. All the prophecies, everything that was said until now, it is happening today. We are witnesses to that thing. This is the real moment now, and no one can make them quiet.
This is the Garden of Gethsemane.
Gat in Hebrew, it's a place that you press something. Shemen, it's oil, shmanim, oil. So it's an oil press. Now you can see, of course, the trees over here. These are all olive trees. And the name of this mountain is the Mount of Olives.
Here, this is where Jesus believed to have been praying before his death and sweating drops of blood from all the pressure of having to be separated from his Father.
I think what makes him completely broken, knowing that he's going to be on the cross and his Father won't be there with him to support him in that sense. And that's why when he's on the cross, he's crying, "Father, why have you forsaken me?" When he's here under this pressure, we see it says that he was sweating drops of blood. When you think of it symbolically and spiritually, it really fits to the process of the olive press. We see that the oil, in a sense, there is no way to get the oil without pressing the olive. it's impossible. And Jesus is saying, it's not my will. I know that I need to do it, and he go forward.
We went to the Garden of Gethsemane, which, again, just hearing the story again and remembering what took place there, and even the connection between it being a place where olives were pressed for oil, and hearing the story of how Jesus was pressed that night. That was interesting and significant.
Behind me here is the Mount of Olives and the Garden of Gethsemane, and all that stuff's like right back there. I think we're heading into the city, Old Jerusalem city now. Behind me is the Pool of Bethesda, which I think is where we're headed to next. We're seeing a lot more than I thought we were gonna see.
We read in John chapter 5, Jesus coming to Jerusalem. There was a pool there with the name Bethesda, and many sick people waiting for the water to move. When the angel would stir the water, the first one that enters inside would be healed from his diseases. Imagine that you would have hundreds of people, especially in those days when you don't have any experts and doctors and hospitals as we have today. So if you have some kind of a disease, you would try to solve it. So we know that we all need to jump into the water. The first one who enters, he is the one who's being healed. So Jesus is entering. He approaches that person and he asks him, do you want to be healed? 20 seconds, miracle, and gone. And he was probably doing so many things like that that we don't even know, that are not recorded.
This is where Jesus was crucified.
We just came now to the place, the site which is known as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Okay, for the past 2,000 years, people were pointing that this is where Jesus was crucified. Here is a section from a Roman street. Imagine that there is a roof that is running all the way from the southern side of the city to the northern side, and there are shops all over under that roof, so people can buy. It's like a long market. And then over here, animals, people with their chariots and other things that they travel here from one side to another. And the same thing over here to our side. The same thing that you see over there, you would find down below us. So it's a wide street.
This area right here is a very crowded mall, I think. It's just covered in shops. All this walking around, getting pretty hungry, and we're stopping for lunch. I don't really know what it is, but it looks really good. What are these called again?
Shawarma.
Shawarma. Look. Shawarma? Shawarma. Go!
Sometimes people are confused when they see the menorah and the other one, which we call Chanukiah, the Hebrew name Chanukiah. The other one is used only in that specific feast.
This menorah is pretty cool. He just told us that this is like an exact creation of what the menorah is, and they believe that when Christ returns and reestablishes his kingdom here, that this is the menorah that's built according to the specifications of scripture. That's pretty cool. It's actually made, overlaid with gold. It weighs like half a ton, and it's like ready to be used in the actual temple one day. Heading over to the Wailing Wall, which is one of the remaining walls originally from Solomon's temple, and it's the closest place that we can get to where the original Holy of Holies was, where the Ark of the Covenant was, in the actual tabernacle, and that's why a lot of people pray there. It's a very meaningful place. Of all the things that we experienced today, the one that was most meaningful to me, I think, was the Wailing Wall. When I was like walking up to it, and part of it is maybe the other people, like I saw like how serious they were taking it. I'm like, oh, maybe I should approach prayer with a little bit more seriousness here. So like, hold on, like this is my opportunity. Like, what is the most important thing that I should be praying about right now? And let's pray about that as like, it was my wife, my family, my relationship with them. This feels more like a defining moment in some way.
I think that sense of spirituality that's there, and you just have a feeling while you're there that this has been going on for millennia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For thousands of years, people have come to this specific location on the map. And there is definitely something, there's a sanctity to it, and there's something very special about that. The significance of that and of that specific location is still a cause for celebration, like it was, you know, in the Bible days.
Yeah.
Here we are today, and it holds the same significance for the same people that are back here in the land.
Our tour in Old Jerusalem is over. Now I think it looks like we're heading over to New Jerusalem, which is on the other side, and we're going to a museum over there.
Alright, so welcome everyone to the Friends of Zion Museum. Our museum is a smart museum. It's also a very interactive museum, and that begins here at the photo booths. So everyone's invited to step into one of the booths. You can adjust the
Take a
camera to your
selfie.
height. Alright, if everyone's ready, we'll continue into the museum itself. Alright, so on the floor over here, you'll notice the Clover map. This is a map from the late 16th century from Germany. And it shows the spiritual vision of the world at that time, where you have Jerusalem as the center of the world between the three continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. So here we'll be taking a virtual tour of Israel. You'll be able to follow along the location. There'll be a white line that traces approximately where we are.
Two of his direct descendants would someday be president of the United States, both deeply committed to a strong Israel in the family of nations.
Friends of Zion Museum. It's just a really, really special place to get a taste for people that have been non-Jewish Friends of Zion and played a major role in the formation of what is modern day Israel today. I don't know if you guys were moved by that. I'm always moved when I go to that place.
Yep. A lot of them were just normal people that they believed that God was doing something, and they decided to just bring their skills, bring their gifts, whatever they had to the table, and really impacted the world through their engagement with the new state of Israel.
We're at the end of the tour, but it looks like they're giving us a little special something. Thank you. Look at that guy. We're leaving the museum. It was pretty good. It's like cool to hear stories about how much of Israel's history is tied to our own history as like Christians and stuff. So it's really good. We're pretty much done all the walking around touristing part, and now it's time to go eat part. So if this is your first time here at our channel, make sure you click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.